Fix It Tony here. Thanks for clicking on the video. We have our 2007 Honda Accord back, and today we're going to be replacing the air conditioning compressor. This one's almost froze up. The coil mechanism for engaging the clutch actually has come apart, started melting, and created a whole disaster there. This vehicle's almost 20 years old. We've done quite a few repairs to it, but it is cheaper to keep this car than it is to replace it. We actually put new headlights on. If it looks like nice, that's because these headlights are only $100. Like, simple stuff like that do make the vehicle dramatically better looking. Also, make it, the headlights actually work pretty well. But with that said, we're going to get started on this. We're going to get it pulled into the backyard here. We're going to start by pulling the bottom shield off, the splash shield in the bottom. There's just push pins, and I'll put in the description the pins where you can buy new ones, because when you take these out, there's about a 90% chance that they're going to break, and they're pretty cheap on Amazon. Just take them out, break them if you have to. Just replace them with new ones. Do yourself a favor. Don't try to save them, because again, we're almost 20 years old. So let's go and get started. Okay, we're going to start by removing this bottle. This has been leaking. We're going to have to put a hose clamp on that. And there's just a 10 millimeter right there, and you can pull the bottle out. Okay, the next step is to go ahead and remove this fan. There's 10 millimeters on top, and there's one on the bottom. You just have to loosen it, but you got to take the shroud loose on the bottom so you can get it from the bottom. It's right smack in the middle on the bottom. You loosen that one, take these two out, and the whole assembly will slide out. We already disconnected our cable here. It's pretty easy. So go ahead and remove the negative battery terminal, because we are going to be messing around with the alternator. So the next thing we do is remove the alternator. We're going to remove this 12 millimeter nut. These are a pain to get off. If you have to use an impact, use an impact. But there's a 50-50 chance if this thing's seized on because of charging issues, which, if your battery's low or whatever, it welds itself on there. So cross your fingers with that. Remove this connector and this 10 millimeter, and then we can get the alternator. We're going to remove this coil, and it's just to make things easier when we pull everything out. So you're going to detach it here and take this 6 millimeter. So here's our belt. The easiest way to get it off is go ahead and move the reservoir, just pull it up and out of the bracket, and then you're going to go ahead and push forward, on this pulley with the 14 millimeter, and you can take it loose. And you're just going to reinstall it the way that you take it out. For right now, we're going to take it loose, and so we can get down to the alternator, get the alternator and the compressor. Now we're going to remove the alternator, and we're going to remove a 12 millimeter. You'll see it right there. And then there's a 14 millimeter right down there. You just want to go ahead and pull the reservoir out of the way. That'll give you room not only to play with the belt, but also to get those bolts. All right, so we have the compressor out. There's just two bolts in the top and the bottom here. We have them up here, right here. And they come up fairly easy. It's not really complicated. Just keep track of your bolts. We did leave one bolt in there because it's blocked by this little bad boy right here. And what you're going to find with these is they use this little off-kilter little bolt here. And these things, one came out, the other one would not. It's stripped out immediately. And I guess I went online and talked to some people, and that is not uncommon. You have to go online and go buy a new one. There's only one company that makes it. I'll put it in the description. And this little piece is damn near $100. So sorry about that, guys. It is what it is. Honda and their infinite wisdom, and they are different. There are different ones for the Odyssey and for the Ridgeline. So everything's a little bit different when it comes to these. So you can't interchange them. And they are available from the dealer, but it is what it is. So we went ahead and depressurized our system. So we're gonna take our lines off, and then we're gonna carefully squeeze the compressor out. We did remove the coil here, and we'll put a board right here to protect our radiator as we do. We have her out, and you can't smell this thing, but it absolutely stinks. I clogged the ports, but it's not the ports. It's actually, if you look here, the whole clutch came apart and actually completely disintegrated and started just melting down. So it stinks really bad. You really don't need anything from this. I've removed the line that went in. We can reattach the new one. We can remove our bolt because we're going to put that in the new unit, but otherwise you can just chuck this whole thing. So one of the most important things you need to do is look inside your lines. I clogged them off because I don't want any material getting in there. You want to make sure there's no debris in here. This was a clutch failure, but if it was a pump failure, you want to make sure that you don't have debris that got into the lines. If you did, you have a whole much bigger of a lot larger of a job. You have to flush the lines out, even replace the line in the condenser if they can't get the material out. So this one doesn't have that problem. So what we're going to do is grab our new pump, replace our O-rings on both of these, and then install our new outlet, and we can start reassembly. All right. So we have our new, from Rock Auto, we got our new compressor from Four Seasons. I've had very good luck with them. They're very reasonable in cost, and it comes with a whole kit. We have our pump here. We have our new assembly here. So we're going to start assembling this again. Use the lubricant supplied for the O-rings and replace the O-rings that are coming off the car. And this goes fairly easy. And you can see the new bolts that come with this are Allen keys. So you're not going to round these off. So that makes life a lot easier for the future, which Honda maybe did that from the factory. Okay, we're going to put the new adapter on. It's going to go right here. We're going to lubricate that seal. This is the low side. This is the high side. We want to add 4 ounces, which is about half this bottle, the PAG 46, to the pump, to the low side, as we're rotating the actual clutch assembly about 10 to 15 times to properly lubricate it. If you do not do this, you're going to have a failure pretty instantly. All right, so we have it back in. We just put the 4 bolts in, torqued it to factory spec. Don't go crazy. This is all going into aluminum. Factory bolt for this, the low pressure connector. And there's a new bolt that comes with this assembly that you bolt in there in the bottom. But the new O-rings that come with the kit, you just match them to what came out, and they go to this new nitro style, which are more dependable. So that's all installed. Rotate a few more times. It's kind of the mess. When you do rotate it, put a rag over it because it will pump some of the oil out. Not a big deal. Once it's installed, rotate a couple of times. Just make sure that lubricant's nice and in there. We don't want an early failure. Next, we'll go ahead and remove our high and low side caps, because we're going to replace not only our caps, but we're going to go in there with the Schrader valve remover and put new valves. The kit doesn't come with the remover, but you can get a removal tool from basically Amazon. They're pretty cheap. I'll put it in the description in case you don't know where to get one from. But these Schrader valves come out pretty easily. We're just going to match what comes out to what we're going to put in. And again, it's important to lubricate these O-rings as you do this. This is the most common failure of most air conditioning systems, is this little O-ring fails. I'll show you. I'll pull this one out. This little O-ring right here fails, and it just, the slightest little fail, but even just the slightest little fail will cause the whole system to lose your whole charge, which is $100+. So replace these. Okay, so we're going to vacuum the system, but I just went ahead and put the new caps on so I don't confuse them with the old ones. Again, that's your secondary seal that you don't have an issue with. We're going to pull this cover off, and we're going to do the second part, which is where people generally skip on, which is our dryer. And this has a desiccant in it, is what it's called. And basically, it's a filter dryer. Any junk that might be in the system, it filters it out and also takes any water out. Water in these systems, even if you crack it open like we did only for a minute, it's enough to destroy the system. So you have to replace this. If you don't, you're going to find yourself with future problems. It's not terribly hard. We'll remove these seals, this cover right here, and then it'll be down in there. We'll replace the expansion block and the what's called the accumulator dryer. Well, I thought I was going to have enough room to do it with just removing that piece. I don't. I have to remove the bumper. It's not as hard as it sounds. There's just a screw up here in the corner. There's one up in the corner, and there's a couple along the bottom that we haven't removed yet since removing the splash shield. It should come off in one piece. These slide in right here by the headlights. It should come out as one piece. There's no fog lamps, so we don't have to disconnect anything. So there's a 10mm at the bottom. There's one more push in, 10mm, and then a screw here and a screw here. And then the whole thing just pulls out. So really easy. And then we can get direct access to what we need here. We're just going to remove this bolt right here, and then we're going to wiggle it out and pop it out, and then we'll pop our new one back in. So there's a 10mm up here, and there actually, I forgot to mention, there is a 10mm at the bottom. Once that's removed, this will just come on out. You can see how grungy that's looking. And this thing is actually full of desiccant. You see where it's come loose and it's actually stuck in there. This is a problem. That should not look like that. So we're going to take a look and make sure there's nothing stuck in there, because that's a problem. So I pulled the O-rings out. We just kind of cleaned it off. You can see a ball right there. This desiccant. This is why we replace these. Again, when someone quotes you cheap on a job like this is why they're generally not doing this part, because this is, as you can see, a little more work. But this is a problem. This shouldn't look like this. So we're actually going to use a vacuum, and we're going to suck all the desiccant out of there. It shouldn't cause any more issues past that. We can put the new one in. Just make sure you pull the old rings out. When you install the new unit, make sure that you lubricate these. So anyway, we'll get this done and get her back together. So we have our new desiccant on there. We've got all those balls out of there. Again, this is why you want to do this. You spend all this money on a compressor, all this time, do it right. We got our valves replaced, we got all the seals replaced. This does not have an expansion block, so we don't need to put a new expansion block in here. So we're good. We connected right here for the compressor. This will go to our fan when we start reinstalling. Right now, what I like to do though, since there's so much room before we put the alternator in, is go ahead and start routing our belt so we're not struggling with that later. So we're going to get the belt ready, then we'll go ahead and put our alternator back in, we'll put our fan back in, then we'll start reassembling everything out here. So we have the alternator back in. It's just these 12 millimeter and then a 14 millimeter. Remember, this thing slides right out of that little channel right there. That just gives you a little more room to work in there. It's also going to help you with the belt, so just pull that out to make it easier. Okay, so we have the belt back on. Again, reverse, just remember the way it came apart. If you need to take a picture of it, that's a good idea. That way you remember the way it goes. Let's go ahead and put the reservoir back where it belongs. We do have a small leak in this power steering system. It's one of the hoses going down here. I'm going to address it. I just don't have time right now. I don't have the parts, so it's easy, accessible enough. So in any case, move on to the next part here. We're going to go ahead and put our coil back in, and then we can start putting the fan back in. Before we put the bumper on, we're going to test start her and make sure she's not making any crazy noises or anything, and then we'll evacuate the system and get ready to charge it. We reconnected the alternator. It's just going to be the 10 millimeter here, this 12 millimeter nut, this thing, just torque it nicely, just don't break the plastic, and then reconnect the connector. So our shroud's back in, so now we can just go ahead and reconnect the connector on it and push these little tabs back where they belong, and then we'll put the assembly on here so we can put the coolant bottle back on. We're going to put a hose clamp on here because this thing's been leaking here. Right. So we have the bottle back in. It's just reinstalling the heat shield. The 10 millimeter goes right in there, and then we're going to put a hose clamp on this because that's been blowing out and this is empty. So we're going to top off our coolant while we have this thing apart, and then we'll go ahead and get ready to get her started. And last up, the starter, make sure we don't have any issues. Go ahead and reconnect the battery. After we're done doing that, we'll run her for a minute, make sure everything sounds okay, and then we'll start evacuating the system, get it ready to charge the AC back up. Start her up. Sounds good, no issues. Good news. Now we'll go ahead and evacuate. So we have our vacuum hooked up. I can't go through all of this right now because it's like a whole tutorial on how to pump out air out of a system. But OMT, I'll put it in the description. This system works pretty well. It comes with the gauges. So open up your gauges, route them like this. Basically, your high line goes to your high line, your low to your low. Open up everything, and then turn your pump on for about 15 minutes. And that's going to create enough vacuum in the system that when we go to charge it up with the correct amount of refrigerant, it'll suck right into the system. Right. So we gave us about 5 minutes, and we're holding vacuum, which is exactly what we're looking for. So we can go ahead and close these off now and go ahead and disconnect them, and we'll go ahead and get a new charge. Okay, so we're back here at the car. I'm going to start her up. We do have an aftermarket stereo. If you're interested about this stereo, you can actually go in the description. I'll put the listing for how I got this going. But we have the AC turned on now. Over here. Grab our bottles here. You have to remove the top on them. Do this one hand is always fun. But basically, you have to remove the top because you got to remove this thing. Otherwise, this thing doesn't inject any freon. The system takes about, it says 16 to 24 ounces. This is a wide variation. We also got to keep in mind too that is minus the oil we put in. So this bottle here is 15.6. So this bottle plus the oil that's in there roughly will put us at about 20 ounces. So we're going to do this from the low line. Remove the cap here. We're going to put the quick connect on here. Like so. I'm going to push it on. Pull it up like that and push it on. And we'll get an indicator right away. And you can see this system is completely empty. So this will take a little while, and we'll just go ahead and get our charge. Once we're in the green, we're good. The way you're going to know you're getting close is you're going to hear the compressor kick on. You can see it down there. It's not on right now. It was turned on a second ago, though. You'll hear it click on and click off, and that's how you know you're getting close. Checking inside. It's blowing ice cold. It's kind of cold out here, but that's really cold. What I usually do with these, so I don't have to stand by it the whole time, I'll put a band around it or something just to charge it, because it's going to need this whole bottle. This is 15.9 ounces. There's 4 ounces of lubricant in there, so that does bring us to roughly 20 ounces. So this one bottle should take care of it. So we'll just let it run out, and looks like we're good. Again, you can also feel your lines. Your fans should be kicking on, and the compressor should be kicking on. So make sure your fans are on, and feel the low pressure line. Your high pressure line should be warm. Your low pressure, which is the bigger one, should be cold. And this is really cold, so we're almost done here. All right, well, we're waiting for that to happen. It's actually, so I went and double checked it. It's 5.5 ounces of, and you can hear the compressor kicking on. It's 5.5 ounces of the oil, which we put in there directly, and it's 19 to 20 ounces of the Freon. So we finished one bottle. We're putting probably half of this bottle. You can hear it kicking on now. We'll check in here in a minute, but we're getting close. All right, so we just went and slid the bumper back on. It's not that hard. Just make sure the plastics on the bottom go tuck in underneath, and then you're gonna put the screw and the 10 millimeter down here at the bottom, and then your pop rivets all the way around, and then the same thing with the bottom piece. Just make sure, see the description, before you do this project, buy yourself some new clips, because trying to reuse these is gonna be impossible. Okay, so we have the air conditioning all charged up. She's good to go. We went in and tested it. We ran it again this morning. Runs beautifully, no issues. So we're going to go ahead and package this one off and send it off temporarily. It's going to come back. And one thing I did kind of let you guys know is that alternator. One, the bearing didn't sound too terribly great. And two, when you take that terminal off, you have a 50-50 chance of breaking that thing. And mine didn't break, but it did make a cracking noise, and now we're getting a battery light. So if you have to replace the alternator because that happened, there's no way around it. Those things seize on, and there's really no easy way to get that bolt off, even with an impact. So it is what it is. So the car will be coming back. We'll be putting an alternator on it. Also, we do have an evap code that we replaced the purge, but unfortunately the canister purge is the one that we're needing to replace. So we'll do that, and we'll do a follow-up on our Valvoline Restore and Protect. It's time for an oil change. So please like, subscribe, and share. I love your comments. Please leave questions or anything like that. I'm happy to answer them. Also, everything you see on this car, I'll make sure it's in the description if you want to click on that, on those affiliate links. You know, it helps me, it helps the channel, and also, you know, I like to help you guys and let you guys know what works. Have a great day.